Adrenal exhaustion is when the person's pupils are very large. When they're very large and dilated, that means a person cannot make a fever, they cannot tighten their pupil down to protect themselves against outside influences. An adrenal exhausted person usually has marks in the adrenals as well as the large dilated pupil. The adrenal mark is at 6 o'clock and in slightly toward the nose, but it's outside of the autonomic nerve wreath. Arcus senilis shows in the eye between 11 and 1 o'clock, which is the brain area, on the outside of the iris. This is a symptom of poor oxygen to the brain. The colon shows in both irises. In the right eye, you'll see the cecum, the beginning of the colon on the lower right side of the body, and the appendix. And then as you come up, you'll notice on the right side of the iris the word ascending colon. Then you have a little hump at 11 o'clock. That's the hepatic flexure over to the transverse colon and the mesentery. At 1 o'clock is the reflex of the navel. The transverse colon shows in the left iris beginning at 11 o'clock, goes across the transverse colon to 1 o'clock where the splenic flexure is, that little hump at 1 o'clock in the autonomic nerve wreath, and then the descending colon goes down the autonomic nerve wreath around to the sigmoid colon at 4 o'clock and on to the sigmoid and down into the rectum and anus, which shows at almost 7 o'clock at the outside edge of the iris, which is the skin area. In the leaky gut syndrome person, you can see how the bowel wall is orange and outside of it up and toward the head is also orange. This is chronic toxicity from the colon into the sinuses. This person also has the drug retention spots called psora, P-S-O-R-A. The lymphatic rosary shows all around the edge of the iris. They look like little pop beads. The thicker the dots, the more congestion there is in the lymph system. The darker the dots, the more chronic it is. If they're white, it's the beginning of congestion. If they're yellow, it's subacute. And if the dots are orange, it's a chronic situation that's been going on a long time. Radii solaris look like spokes of a wheel coming out from the pupil out through the rest of the iris. This is a symptom of toxic funnels coming from the colon into various other organs of the body. The stomach area shows just outside the edge of the pupil in both eyes. The stomach area can be a pale orange, which shows what we call an underacid or low acid stomach ring. A low acid stomach can keep you from absorbing calcium and protein. The scurf rim is a thick ridge around the outside two edges of the iris. This is the skin area.